Quiere hacer muchas cosas.
¿Nunca habéis estado allí o habéis conocido?
No, no, yo allí no he estado nunca. Lo hemos conocido en la feria y muy guapa está. Muy curioso, quiere aprender de todo.
¿Cómo se llama la feria de
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Nicole, and this is my dog Oso. We are out here in the hills of Granada, Spain. This is a podcast about knitting. The name is called Sol y Punto, which in Spanish means to the sun, and that's it. Or, like to the sun, period. Or to the sun and knitting. This is episode 26. So if you have been here since the beginning, thank you so much for being part of this. This is like a knitting journal for me. I share about what I'm working on, what is in my dye pots. I naturally dye yarn with plants in my area or plants that I source from other places. This episode we are going to talk. Sorry, I often get very distracted by Oso. We'll see how he behaves. This episode we're going to talk about finished objects. We're going to talk about works in progress. We're going to talk about Save the Sheep. We're going to talk about this beautiful scarf that I'm wearing, and so many other things. So if you want to stay here and hang out, you are more than welcome. You can get a cup of tea, or you can get your spinning or your knitting or your crochet or whatever you want, and join me as I share all of the knitting things and all of the plant things. I typically talk about a plant at the end of the episode, and in the last episode I did not. It was at the end of the year in December. By the way, Happy New Year. We are now in 2023, and we're going to talk about a plant. I was trying to look back because I have already talked about 24 plants in previous episodes, so I was like, what plant haven't I talked about? There are many plants to talk about, but I couldn't think. But then I received a gift yesterday, a beautiful, beautiful book. I don't know if you've seen it. It is the 52 Weeks of Socks. So there are 52 sock patterns that you can knit every week if you're a super fast knitter. Or you can knit one every month and have it for a couple of years, or whatever you want, or just reference it. But in the book, I flipped open to the first page I flipped open to was a pair of socks called vervain. And if you don't know, blue vervain is a plant which I had always heard herbalists talking about, related to like uplifting the mood and working against depression. And I wanted to find it because I looked it up. I was like, I want to knit these socks called vervain and this plant. Where can I find this plant here in Spain? And I realized that blue vervain, the reason I haven't seen it here is because it only grows in the Americas. In, I think, only North America. And here in Spain, we have something called hierba luisa, which is like another type of vervain. And I'm really excited to share my research with you about this plant. So that'll be at the end of the episode. If you're not interested in the plants, you can leave when I stop talking about knitting and all that. Anyway, okay. Grab something to drink, and I'll see you in the present, future. These podcasts, we jump around a lot. That introduction was a little hodgepodge too, but that's the way it works. That's the way it is. Okay. Hello! Here we are from the inside of an olive tree at the end of 2022. This will probably be the past for you, as I will be inserting this video along the episode. But I just wanted to show you a finished object that I will be gifting very soon, and this new gift that I have received. This is the Cuello Gades, which is a brioche pattern by my dear friend Antonio of Beagle Knits, knit for me by my dearest of dearest friends, Marianela, and she learned brioche to knit me this cowl. I did request it because I wanted her to be a brioche knitter, and isn't it gorgeous? And because it's brioche, it's reversible. This pattern is available on Ravelry, super easy. You can knit it in DK and really doesn't use a lot of yarn. And it's so squishy because it's brioche, and I absolutely love it. And I'm so proud of Marianela for joining the brioche club because it's a great club to be part of. Like, don't you all love brioche as much as I do? I love it so much. Oh, isn't it beautiful with these colors? Oh man, it's so nice. So thank you, Marianela. And thank you, Antonio, because this is a free pattern available on YouTube. You can buy the PDF pattern for something very minimal, but you can watch the videos for free, but they're in Spanish. And you can knit it like super fast, like in a day, honestly. And you learn everything you need to know about increases and decreases. You can see it on the inside. This is the back, although I can tell it's the back just because of how the increases are, but it's still super cool. Do you remember I made one of these last year? Do you remember? I made one of these last year for my aunt, actually in kind of similar colors. But it's just super squishy and super warm, and I absolutely love it. My Oso is here. He's kind of chill, kind of wanting to go for a walk, so we're gonna go. But I just wanted to show you that. And I wanted to show you another brioche finished object. Oh, so do you know about this brioche finished object? Oh my god, he's so excited about it. So excited. So this is it. This is a new shawl suka, and it blocked out so big. I will try it on for you. This is actually for my friend's daughter. So my friend's daughter is 5 years old, so I made 5 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is reversible because it's brioche, so she can choose if she wants to use like the yellowish side in the front, or, I mean, for me, I feel like I would want it a little bit bigger, but because it's for a 5-year-old, I don't know if she's gonna like it as a 5-year-old. I feel like it works like a cowl. And this was knit using Tintika's yarn, and this is her fingering weight, no, sport weight, and DK. So I used like nothing of yarn, honestly. I think I used about, I would say 200 meters of each, not even. Like half a skein of sport and like maybe a skein of DK. So maybe like a full skein of DK and like half skein of sport. Like nothing. And I don't even think I finished the skein of DK. It was like leftovers that I had. Yeah, so this is it. I knit it on like quite big needles. I knit it on a 5 millimeter knitting, and then the bind off, which is an I-cord bind off, you want to do that as like a lot bigger. So I did it on a 6.5 millimeter needle. I did not block this properly. Kind of just like laid it over the drying rack, and that was it. And so like the ends kind of got stretched out, but it's fine. And you could wear it on your shoulder. Again, this is the chal suka. So I'm happy with it. I hope that my friend's daughter likes it. It's warm and cozy, and yeah, suka. I like the color combination. This was knit with logwood is the purple, and the yellow is chamomile. So I feel like that's really sweet. Chamomile and logwood. My friend asked for yellow and blue, so I said yellow and purple-ish blue, and she said okay, yes. So we will see. I like it. I know. I tend to record with the sun in my face, but it's just such a lovely spot. I'm up here with Oso using a olive tree as my tripod, and I thought I could just share a little bit about my experience yesterday in Loja and show you my Save the Sheep shawl. Have you seen this? Isn't it glorious? I'm going to wrap it around my shoulder. I love to wear it like this, and it's so warm. This is the Save the Sheep shawl. This is the Rosette shawl, which was a Advent mystery cal by Antonio of Beagle Knits, my partner in Save the Sheep project. And yeah, he knit this one and he gave it to me. Well, I kind of stole it from him, but I love it. It is so warm, and this Rosette yarn is just amazing. It's so airy and fluffy, and this pattern is really fast to knit. Like, everyone knit it in December along with the different clues each day, and yeah, I think it came out really beautifully. It's like a modular shawl, so each day there were 24 pattern clues, or like pieces of the pattern, and you just kept building along the shawl. And then there's some brioche at the end. You guys know I love brioche. So this is the Rosette shawl. It is available on Ravelry if you want to get the PDF patterns, or you could just go to YouTube and follow along Antonio's pattern. Yeah. So I'm out here. Oso's here. Oso, hi. Say hi. I'm kind of like, yeah, we walked all the way up here. And I wanted to share about my visit yesterday to meet the second sheep of Save the Sheep. So if you don't know about this project, you can go back a few episodes and you will see the Save the Sheep logo on one of my episodes, and you can hear about how this project was created. But basically what Antonio, the person who knit this, and I are doing is finding sheep breeds that are endangered breeds and buying lots of kilos of that yarn to support those farmers, and then naturally dyeing the yarn. I naturally dyed this with olive leaves and pomegranate skin, and the colorway is called Dorado Granaino, which means golden granada, because granada means pomegranate, but it's also the city where we live, and dorado, golden, because it's like a yellowy golden color, and because olive trees produce fruits which give us liquid gold olive oil. Delicious. Yeah, so we are getting the yarn from endangered breeds or rare breeds of sheep, but the first two have been actually endangered breeds of sheep. Rosette from the Valle d'Aosta in Italy. I think I don't know off the top of my head how many of these sheep are in existence right now, but there are people working together to try and bring them back, breeding them more and taking care of them. So that was the Rosette, and we do still have a few skeins that we were playing around with colors, and we have like pinks and reds on Antonio's website if you would like to get some of this yarn. It's really beautiful, really airy and light. To knit this shawl, you would need about 5 or 6 skeins. But it is a massive shawl, so maybe you want to knit something smaller. Yeah, so yesterday we went to go visit the second edition of Save the Sheep sheep, which is not from Italy. It is from here in Granada. So there is an endangered breed of sheep living just 30 minutes away from us. And it was so beautiful to go to the farm and to meet the farmers, Juan Antonio, the son, and Juan Antonio, the father. We were with them, and they were just so amazing, telling us their stories. And obviously, as like shepherds, they spend a lot of time with sheep, and they have a lot of time to philosophize, and they just had all these words of wisdom to share with us. And it's so beautiful what they're doing. They're really, like, what they were talking about is like, not only are they trying to like save this breed of sheep, which is like a local breed, but also they're trying to save like the landscape of the countryside, because like if the sheep are not like grazing and eating, then like there's more risk of fires. And just, I don't know, I think that the work that they're doing is really, really interesting. We recorded a video in Spanish, which will be available on the channel. So if you speak Spanish, I probably won't translate it because it's a bit long. But yeah, maybe I will do like a summary of it in English after the video. That could work. But they just had so much to share, and it was so beautiful, and we're so excited. Like I was so excited to be working with a breed from here in Granada for Save the Sheep. But now that I know personally these farmers, these shepherds, and I was able to hold a day-old baby Lohenia sheep, and I was there with them, like, I'm totally in love. I'm so excited about their project, and I'm so excited to dye their wool, and it's just so squishy. And yes, so Save the Sheep, second edition. It is going to be on sale for pre-sale the 22nd of January. So that's like now, like when this video is coming out. And this will be naturally dyed by Antonio and me, because Antonio is helping me with the natural dye because he was super excited about like getting the dye pots out. So he's dyeing one colorway, I'm dyeing the other, and then we're doing a mix of the two colorways so that like both of us dye one. Really excited. And it is going to be for the mystery knit along of March. So we're putting them on sale now at the end of January, just in case you are in Australia, Chile, Norway, Mexico, New York, California, so that there's at least a month of travel time. More than a month. We're giving it like almost 6 weeks, just to make sure that everyone has their yarn on time, because you don't know, once the package is in the hands of the shipping company, you don't know how long it's going to take. And we want everyone to be ready if they want to participate in the knit along in March. It's going to be again on YouTube, the pattern. Yeah, so I will talk more about this, I'm sure, and we're just really excited to be saving all the sheep, and I can't wait to go visit these sheep again in Loja and hang out with Juan Antonio and his 87-year-old father, who was like climbing up the hill like more agile than I was. I was like, wow. Yeah, really beautiful. And their sheep are so cute, so we want to save them, save the sheep. Okay. I think I'm going to move further up the hill because now the sun has gone down a little bit and it's chilly. And I'm going to record the same thing now in Spanish. Bilingual podcast, but Osa's really chill, so maybe I'll just stay here. Anyway, more things. Oso. Oy, 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 oy. Hello, friends. Okay, so I am back. I'm not using an olive tree as my tripod. I'm here in my knitting chair with my beautiful rosette shawl. Isn't it so nice? It's so warm. I use it to put around my shoulders. Yes, I love it. So today I'm in my house and I wanted to show you some things that I have here that I didn't want to take up to the hills to show you because they're pretty big projects. Well, just one pretty big project that I want to show you. Yeah, so first let me tell you what I'm wearing. This is the Veritas shawl. It's a free pattern by Antonio Beagle Knits. I talked about it in the previous episode if you want to go check that out. The yarn is by Sol y Punto. It's a gorgeous single merino silk base dyed in the Barcelona Knits colorway. Olive Poetry. You might remember that I made the stitch markers of jasper and fluorite to go along with this shawl and this design. So this is a really beautiful design by Antonio Beagle Knits. He is my co-partner in Save the Sheep, and he's a brilliant designer. I'm also wearing this sweater, this cardigan, which is the Noki cardigan. I'm going to put a video here so that you can see what I've done. I used to wear it the other way, but I remember that in the pattern it said that you could turn it around. And so I've decided to just like change it up, and it gives it more of like a shawl collar when you like wear it upside down. And I really like that. It's like warm and cozy. So I'm wearing it now as like a shawl collar, and like the cable part that normally is here is like around the waist. It's a little bit strange because then like the front pieces are like longer, but I don't know, I like it. And I'm also wearing a top knit. It's like a tank top. It's like a racer back that my friend Emily knit. If you watch podcasts in Spanish and you want to go check out, my friend Marianela is doing like Lana Minutos, where she does like an episode each week, and she just kind of does like vlog style about knitting. And me and my friend Emily were on it. Emily has knit like a million things and loves to gift her knitwear away. And she actually did a giveaway of a beautiful shawl by Joji Locatelli that she knit, and she gifted it for, she was looking for, we were at her house and we were talking about starting a podcast because she wants to start a podcast, and we were trying to like tell her like do it. And so we just like on the spot decided that there should be a giveaway for leaving down in the chat, in the comments, a name for her podcast. So she got really cool ideas, and I think she's already picked the winner of that shawl. So yeah, but Emily knit this and she didn't want it, and I said I will save it. I'm going to save all of the pieces, and it's cool. It's like she used like different yarns, and I like it for layering in the winter. So it doesn't have sleeves, obviously, but I put it over like a long sleeve shirt, and it's perfect. You need all the wool because it's really cold. It's really cold here in Granada. Okay, I want to show you so many things. All right, well, first of all, I have my book here. I don't know, I recorded a bunch of segments, so I don't know if I've talked about this before or not, but I was gifted, let's see if we can pull this down a little bit, the 52 Weeks of Socks by my dear friend. 52 weeks of socks. So there are 52 patterns in here. I really don't think that I'm capable of knitting a sock a week. It takes me normally like half a year to knit a sock. But I want all the socks. And like this book is so beautiful. Just like the photography is amazing. And so this is the first page that I opened up to. This is called Vervain. And vervain is verbena. It's the plant that we're going to be talking about at the end of this episode. And I want to knit these. But you know what? Well, right now I am finishing these socks. This is the first one. This is my awesome sock blocker that has my name on it. That's so cool. So these socks I started knitting last winter, and they're super fuzzy because they have mohair, a strand of mohair and a strand of merino sock. And this was from an Advent exchange organized by La Nuja. And I got all these different mini tiny little balls of yarn, and so I wanted to, and my project bag that I keep it in was also from the exchange. And so I'm working on sock number 2, but now I'm trying to go really fast because I really want to start the verbena. I might start because when I'm knitting, this is just like knit around. I do like super simple socks. I do this cast on. I think it's called like Judy's Magic Cast On or something like that, where you like cast on with the 2 needles. And then I do the increases, then I just go straight knitting, straight knitting. You can see I've got 2 strands, a mohair strand and a sock yarn. And my keys from Marta. I've got all these beautiful stitch markers from my friend Marta. These I have been using. I took them off because I finished my sleeve. But it's so nice when you have, this is fluorite. It's covered in oh-so hairs. But this is fluorite, and it's so nice when you have a beautiful stitch marker. This one I made. This is rose quartz and amazonite. Anyway, so I am knitting these on these tiny little Haya sharps, which are super, super sharp. And because I push, I like always stab my finger. My friend who gave me the sock book told me that she uses a rubber thimble when she uses Haya sharps to push. Anyway, so I think I might actually even cast on the vervain because I have these. So when I knit socks, because I'm a loose knitter, I knit on a US 0 2mm. These are the Chaogu, I think. It's the only pair of Chaogu that I have, but I like them. So I might actually even cast on. But what I'm concerned about is I was looking at the gauge that this pattern asks for and like the yarn that it asks for. And it says 1 skein of Studio Sock by Neighborhood Fiber Company, which is a really cool brand from the United States. But I don't have access to that here, so I need to find yarn in my stash. 100% superwash merino. It says 400 yards, 113 grams. So in meters, that's 366 meters in 113 grams, which to me seems almost like a sport weight, right? Because normally sock weight is 400 meters for 100 grams, and this is 366 meters for 113 grams. So that means that it's a thicker yarn, right? So I have this yarn, and I was thinking that I need to make this vervain. The pattern is by Sashiko Bergen, if you guys know her. So this is the pattern, and it also starts up here. I normally start down here. This is going to be a challenge, but I'm excited. So I have this yarn, which is like, this is merino silk. It doesn't have any nylon, but it is definitely, I could just do a gauge swatch and figure out what my tension is, but you know me. So this one is the yarn I want to use, and this is a fingering. So this is kind of like a sport weight. Do you think I could use this one? Am I messing it up? It's 366 meters and 113 grams. That's like a sport weight. I don't know. This is actually a light DK. This isn't even sport, so I don't know how many meters it has. Anyway, so I'm really excited about this book, and I want to knit. This is the year of the socks. I need all the socks. My feet are cold. I'm always wearing knit socks, and I want all the knit socks. So I'm super excited. Okay, more things. Okay, so since we're here, I'm going to show you some yarn I have. So this is a yarn that Antonio, my friend who designed this shawl, my friend from Save the Sheep, brought back from Italy for me. And look at how cool it is the way it was spun. So he got this when he went to teach at a yarn festival in Italy. And this yarn is 15% dog hair and 85% wool. And so it is the fur from a dog that is like born and raised amongst the sheep. So it's a really beautiful combination because it's the combination of the wool from the sheep and the dogs that spend their lives with these sheep. And it's super soft and squishy, and I would never have guessed that this has 15% dog fur, but it does. I can't really read what it says. I don't know if you can read that. But it's made from Agricola La Rocca, Montefortino, made in Italy. And this is the brand Sevillana. So that's really cool. I think I was saying in the Spanish segment that I'm probably going to dye this with Hypericum in the summer, because this company, they also use natural dyes. So you can check their website and see the colors. So you can buy this naturally dyed already. And the color that they got on here with Hypericum was really beautiful. So I'm going to wait for the summer and collect some Hypericum and make myself a Hypericum hat. I think this would be a good hat, no? I need some hats. I need hats and socks. So this is the year of the hats and the socks. So I've got that. And then I'm going to show you, because I have in my house, all of the Lirio Lojenio. I'm sorry, I'm really bad at making the skeins, the hanks, the skeins. But, okay, so this is our yarn from Save the Sheep. This is the Lojenio yarn. It's super squishy. I absolutely love it. We keep them in families because they are dyed in families. We call them, each one is a baby. They're like yarn babies. And then we put them together by threes and dye them in threes so that every family is always like the same. Whereas maybe from one family to the other, there might be some slight variation because we are dyeing in our kitchens. And yes, but the families are dyed together so that they are all the same family. So this is Lirio Lojenio. This is for our mystery Cal for March. So Antonio, the designer of the shawl, is designing the mystery knit along for March. So what better color than this purple for March, which is Women's Month, right? Aren't we supposed to knit in purple in March? So I think that this is a beautiful color. This was dyed with logwood. And here we have Conejillo de Roca, Little Rabbit of the Rocks, Conejillo de Roca. So this is like a variegated from purple to pink. And this is really pretty too. I'm really excited to see this in Antonio's pattern. So he's taking into consideration the fact that this is variegated to make sure that the pattern works really well with this kind of yarn. So this is really pretty. This is the combination of Antonio's dye baths of cochineal and my dye baths of logwood, because Antonio is dyeing the magenta in his house. So he is working with the dye pots too, which is super exciting, and he's loving it. And we're having a great time with that. Although today I ran out of the gas tank, so I can't finish dyeing anything else today. Actually, it conked out yesterday, and then I took the one out of my space heater, and that one also died the same day. My gas tanks, we have like gas things that I use for cooking, I use for heating, and they always tend to burn out on like a Saturday, and then I'm not going to be able to get a new one until probably Tuesday. So I need to cook in the electric oven. And I had made like so much. That's my washing machine. My washing machine also needs to be fixed because it like wobbles when things fall off the top. I normally try to keep it clear. Anyway, sorry. Yeah. So this is Conejillo de Roca. This is Lirio Lojenio, Save the Sheep. And as always, the kit comes with the pattern, the mystery knit along pattern in March, which every, I think, Saturday you'll get a new clue to knit. And it comes with the 4 knit nights, which are the 4 Thursdays in March at 8 o'clock Spain time on Zoom. It also comes with the link to join in on the Telegram group. And it comes with more surprises. So we actually were looking for like extra things for this kit, and we found this really cool initiative and association here in Granada not going to tell you what it is, but we're really excited to have that part of the whole kit. And yeah, so we're really excited about Save the Sheep. The kits are on sale now on the website. I'll leave it down below if you want to save some sheep. And do you guys want to see my sweater? Because that's the reason why we're here. That's the reason why we're at my house right now, so that I can show you this beautiful sweater, which yesterday I finished knitting the second sleeve. So now I just need to knit a few more inches on the body until my yarn runs out. And that's it. And then I'm done. I'm so excited. Okay, so sweater. Look at this sweater. It's inside out. Okay, so let me see how I can show this to you. But look at those floats. Like, look at those floats. And like, when I'm knitting it, I keep the sleeves on the inside so that they don't bother me. But let's turn this thing inside out and show you this glorious piece. I need to put like a tag to know which is the front and which is the back. But this is the back. And what's going on? Where's my yarn? Okay. Oh my God, isn't it gorgeous? It is so gorgeous. I love it. Woo! I knew I should have put one of those stoppers on here. So I'm knitting the bottom part, and what I did was I put on the left needle a very, very thin. This is probably a 3.25, and this I'm knitting in a 4.5. So as I go around and around, the left needle is thinner, so it slides off really fast. Not that fast, but pretty fast. Yes, so this is the body. Also, I knit the sweater inside out because someone told me that when you do that, that's what Marilisa does in her podcast. She like wraps the arm around her shoulder. Marilisa is amazing. She has accompanied me on knitting both of these sleeves. And it was so funny because in the episode yesterday, she was like, you guys are not even listening to me. You're just knitting around your sleeve, trying to finish your sleeve, and you don't even care. So I'm just going to talk about whatever I want because you just want me to have white noise in the background and listen to me talk for 2 hours. I was like, oh my God, it's so true. I love listening to her talk. She's really funny. So these are my sleeves. This is my sweater. This is the Sagittarius sweater. Oh, and I'm knitting it inside out because someone told me that it makes your floats better. It makes your floats like have better tension. So this is it. This is almost done. I'm going to wear it to Madrid Yarn Festival and it's going to be so warm and fuzzy. It is all over color work. I love it. I didn't follow the pattern. This is the Sagittarius. I don't know if it's going to be huge, the sleeves, but I wanted it to have long sleeves. Right now before blocking, but that's another thing because when you block superwash, it stretches out like a chia pet. It grows like a chia pet, says Marilisa. I did just an I-cord. I did decreases and then I did an I-cord. In the pattern it said to do a rib, but I thought it would be cute to have this little I-cord. At first I didn't do decreases and I just did the I-cord and it was like a bell sleeve and I was like, this is impractical. So I went back and changed it. So this is it. This is my pattern. This is my sweater. The yarn is, the pink is Sur y Alpaca. I don't know. Kat, Heather and Hops gave it to me. Don't know what it is. Didn't have a tag. And then the green is Olan. And the colorway is Prairie. Isn't that beautiful? You can see up here my tension wasn't that good. I hope that'll come out in blocking. But like as I go, it gets better. And then I think on the bottom, I'm going to do an I-cord too. I don't know. So this is the never ending skein. Like this, I knit two, this is, all of this is one skein of the Prairie. And then I started a new skein, like this whole body was one skein. And then I started this when I knit the first sleeve. I knit the first sleeve, I knit the second sleeve, and I still have all this. Like what? I'm pretty sure, according to my calculations, that each sleeve was only 25 grams of this. How is that possible? And then this is my ball of Sur y Alpaca. So maybe because of all the Suri in there, that I don't know. It's crazy. But I still have all this to finish the body. Now I'm wrapped up in yarn. And I have my beautiful stitch markers. This is also Amazonite from Marta. So this is where I started the other day, and I think I'm gonna do like maybe 2 more repetitions of this, and then I'm done. Oh my god, I'm so excited to be done. So excited. And this is my stitch marker. Do you remember when I made the stitch markers for the Lana box? Those were them. This was like a weird one that I kept for myself because it reminded me of a tooth. And I was like, I'm not gonna give that one to Lorena. But yes, I like these stitch markers. And it is living in my beautiful bag. Oh my god, this is the flower of March, which is for Women's Day. This flower normally blooms on Women's Day here in Spain. And you're supposed to gift it to yourself if you're a woman, or someone has to gift it to you. Okay, so that's my sweater. That's my story. Now we will go on to the plants. Okay? I think that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope that this wasn't too much of chaos. I don't know if I talked all over the place. I feel like my podcasts are getting more and more jumbly and confusing and jumping back and forth, but that's just the way it is. And that's it. So what are you gonna do? Okay, ciao. So I just wanted to say before I go on to the plants that I have a friend who is part of an association in Catalonia, in Barcelona, who is working with people with Asperger's and autism. And they are teaching everyone to knit. So I think it's really beautiful, and my friend who's a knitter asked me, well, I don't think she specifically asked me, but I saw that she was asking in Instagram for yarn donations, and I thought it was a really cool initiative, you know? I mean, I'm sure all of us have that extra skein of yarn maybe left over from a project, or some skeins that we're just not going to use that are at the bottom of our stash. So if anyone is interested in donating, you can send them a message, or I can even give you their mailing address, and you could send them a box full of love, and we can help create new knitters. So, okay, that's it. Now on to the plants. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the verbena family, or the vervain family. As I said earlier in the podcast, in the book of 52 Weeks of Socks, there's a pattern called vervain. And when I saw that, I immediately thought of blue vervain, which is a plant that I have heard of many times on the herbal podcast that I listen to. And actually, just the other day when I was walking up the hill, I was listening to the Herbal Highway, which is a wonderful podcast from out in California, KPFA. But you can listen to it on any podcast app. And they were talking about using blue vervain to help fight against seasonal depression, or even just depression in general. They were saying that blue vervain is something that is very cooling. It's antispasmodic. It's very liver stimulating, which helps process reproductive hormones, which could aid in alleviating PMS symptoms. They also talked about how it's really beneficial when working with grief. Also in like a restless fatigue type situation, like when you feel like agitated but also fatigued, this is a plant that could really ally against those feelings. Also, they said it's really beneficial in helping calm down cyclical mind chatter, like when you're like cyclically thinking and spiraling down into negative thoughts. That blue vervain could be a really nice help. Now, I was so excited about the vervain pattern and thinking again about blue vervain, which is a plant I had heard about many times, but I had never seen. And so I looked it up, and I saw that blue vervain is really only found in Americas. So it's the Verbena astata, It's called American Vervain, Blue Vervain, Simpler's Joy. And this is a perennial flowering plant, and you're going to find it in continental US and southern Canada. So I thought that was interesting. And then I thought, well, if we don't have blue vervain here in Spain, what have we got? And of course, we have hierba luisa, which is like, in English, it's called like lemon verbena, right? Or what would you call it? Verbena de las Indias. Here, hold on. Let me just find this in English. What do you call it in English? Lemon verbena or lemon bee brush. So I thought that was really interesting. And it was brought to Europe by the Spanish and Portuguese in the 17th century. So this plant also, lemon verbena, is common to the Americas. I also saw that Inca Cola, which is a popular soft drink in South America. I'm not sure where. I guess where the Incas were. But yeah, so this is another plant. And so since we don't have blue vervain, we can use lemon vervain. Vervain, verbena, verbena officinalis, the common vervain. I think it's important that when you are looking at plants, maybe you don't have that specific plant near you, but there might be other plants in your local vicinity that can be just as beneficial for you. So yeah, it has lots of wonderful uses, properties, like the lemon verbena you can even use for cooking, for marinades. I love it in an infusion, potpourri, herbal teas, liquor flavoring, and it actually has, it's also known as like the sacred herb, and it was important in, like, they say that they used the vervain to treat the wounds of Jesus from the cross. And yes, so what does it say about that? Because of the association with the Passion of the Christ, it came to be used in ointments to drive out and repel demonic illnesses, because it says that the common vervain was used to staunch Jesus' wounds after his removal from the cross. Hence names like holy herb or devil's bane. Yes, and lots of folklore and interesting things. I think that for the Romans, it was known as a very sacred plant, and it's beautiful. So I think that we should all knit the vervain socks. I'm very excited about that. And I hope that you're all doing well. I hope that you're all embracing the cold winter months. And if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, I hope that you're enjoying the height of the summer. And I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much for all your time. And I'm going to add now just a little segment of my interview with Antonio and the men from Loja, from Save the Sheep. Well, they are from the Lojeña sheep, and they take care of the sheep. And we interviewed them. It's in Spanish, so I'll just let you listen to that if you guys understand Spanish. And if not, then you can just say goodbye now. Okay, talk to y'all soon. Thank you for listening. Ciao. Hasta la leche.
Exactamente.
Pues muchísimas gracias a los dos, Juan Antonio, por acogernos, por atendernos, por explicarnos la historia de la oveja lojeña, y nos vemos próximamente también.
Bueno, aquí tenéis vuestra casa, como lo decimos a todo el mundo, porque todos nos hacemos falta en la vida, y yo creo, pongo en estos días atrás, estuvimos porque estamos haciendo la huella de carbono de la asociación. El propio proyecto lleva incluido hacer ciertas charlas en las escuelas, y tuve el honor de hacer unas pequeñas charlas a gente muy pequeñita, y yo les decía de esta forma, que el universo está lleno de estrellas, unas más grandes, otras más pequeñas, unas brillan más, otras brillan menos, pero el universo, la belleza que tiene esa estampa, la condicionan todas esas estrellas, las grandes, las pequeñas, las que brillan más y las que brillan menos, y que todos conformamos ese universo.
Qué hermoso.
Pues muchísimas gracias.
Muchas gracias.
A vosotros.
Muy bien.